Before we dive into this week's topic, we want to talk about the biofitness method, soon to be another name, and how we've just come to the end of our first ever 8 week group coaching program, and how fucking epic it was.
Well,
We
actually,
gave ourselves the ick with the name.
do you know the only reason that I gave it gave me the ick is because the only time I've ever heard anything called the method is a pull out method, and that never worked. So, well, it's getting because actually what we've discovered is the biofitness method does work. So we don't want it associated with something that doesn't work.
Fair enough, mate. And we also don't want anybody to be pulling out for the biofitness method.
Want everybody having a good time.
I hope you were going to clarify that part with it being the biofitness method. You don't
Of
want them
course.
pulling out of it because I was like, we just forcing pregnancy at this point.
Forcing pregnancy. Well, apparently that's what a new political party in Scotland essentially wants to bring into place. It is voting week this week. By the time this podcast comes out, we would have voted. And I don't have a fucking Scooby who I'm voting for because they're all lying bastards just wanting to line their own pockets. But that's a topic for another day. The biofitness method.
I was about to say, mate, I didn't realise we become a political podcast.
Oh, I know. I think we would need to pull out of that that one.
Question: do you vote every time?
This is the first time I've been registered to vote.
You have never used your vote until now.
No, I lived abroad for quite a long time.
Okay. Did I not send the vote to you?
Yeah,
You're not in
not
Ireland
when
here.
you live in a van in a Walmart car park though.
Mm.
I could get when I was in Canada, we could get weed delivered to the door, but we couldn't get our fucking voters letter delivered to the van door. But there you go. Kyle was just sitting going, "What the fuck's happening here?"
I don't know how we've come down this path.
No, that
I
was
love
like
politics.
we're 3 minutes into the podcast and we've taken 4 left turns already.
Yeah, we can't afford another one. We've got no more. We've got no more to use.
We're just
This-
on a roundabout. Let's bring it back.
Yeah.
Biofit.
Right. As far as we're concerned, it's a work in progress, not the actual program, but the name of it. I think we're going something along the lines of Biofit 365 or Biofitness 365. By the time that this is out, we've probably decided. So, at least you've been part of behind the scenes. Right, what we have done is we operated it. If you tuned into one of our previous podcasts, probably about 9 weeks ago, you'd have heard us talking about starting up this group coaching program because we actually wanted to see could we deliver higher level results at a slightly cheaper, more affordable cost without it again, with having a lot of bells and whistles on it, but we just wanted to see how it would go. So we opened up. As always, I have Rocky at my feet, who is coming in at the most inappropriate moment, and I'm not
He
even.
sounds like he's doing a wee tap dance in the background there.
Mate, it's
Little pitter patters.
ironically, he doesn't annoy me when I'm not doing anything, but see the moment I'm going to do something, he's got this wee blue ball, he just drops at my feet and then just starts doing tap dancing and growling at my feet.
I was laughing as well because Gary's got a mug saying the dog fodder.
Mm-hmm.
Mine says, I work so that my dog can have a certain lifestyle.
I mean, we couldn't see because your camera was blocked, but we'll take your word for it.
Yeah, we're a dog-friendly podcast, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Complete next left turn that I will get back to. I watched stuff, I'd never seen The Godfather before, so I got the Blu-rays. I seen the first one, really, really enjoyed it. There's a lot of films that I've seen that are meant to be hyped up, and I'm like, I didn't enjoy that. Like Scarface, for instance, I just thought it was a fucking bunch of nonsense. But I watched The Godfather Part 2, and I was expecting massive things. I'm going to be honest, I didn't think it was as good as the first one. It was good, but I'm just like, I thought the first one was better, to be honest. Everybody was like, oh, The Godfather Part 2 is better.
I did enjoy the first one as well. It's just on for so long, man.
Man, I watched the second. Maybe this is the issue. I watched the second one in 3 parts.
I had to do that with Endgame.
Yeah.
I had to take breaks.
I thought Infinity War was better. The one before it, I think that's the one before it. I can't remember the name of it, but the one before it I thought was better. And then the one after, I was like, it was all right, but it wasn't quite the thing. Anyway, going back to the biofitness method.
Yes.
Changing. So We've obviously we tested for 8 weeks. Got our initial pilot program up. We had somewhere between 10 and 15 people on board to start off with. We just want to see how effective it was, and actually, a lot of things happened that I was going to say were expected, not expected, all of that. So the way we operated it was we had a group call on Monday nights. We got check-ins, everybody's dirty washing out on a Monday night. We had a chat about kind of live call, problem solved. We opened it up to the one-to-one coaching guys as well, so we actually had a lot of experience of people in. And the back end of it, well, actually, guys, how did you find the Monday calls went?
Yeah, it's good. Took us a couple of weeks to get into the swing of kind of what we were talking about and find our flow. But it was really helpful, very educational. We were answering the check-ins in a group capacity rather than it being, individual and one-to-one. And it was allowing everybody to give each other a wee kind of round of applause, a wee pat in the back for doing well. And we also had outstanding input from some of the longer term one-to-one biofitness members as well, who have lived the experiences that our group coaching clients and members were currently going through. So not only were they getting amazing value from the coaches, they were also getting really amazing value and feedback and education from the other members as well, which I think is an absolutely amazing thing. And we've seen some fucking insane results within an 8 week period. And bear in mind, this is group coaching. Like, this is not one to one. So the individual feedback wasn't there, but the members that came on board, the members that were taking part, seen outstanding progress, and that is because of the support that they were receiving and the work that themselves were putting in. And genuinely, like, I think it was for it being a pilot program, for it being the first ever time we've ever done anything like this from the very start, the very beginning. We set it up ourselves, we done all the trainings ourselves. I think it was amazing, and it can only get better for here. I think people that are coming on board in the future are in for a fucking treat.
Amen, sister. To be fair though, like everyone was so nervous at the start, and by even last week's call there, like the slag in between everyone was brilliant.
Yeah.
Everyone joined in like Kyle on this week's call as well, which was brilliant. He caught the bait a few times. It was fun.
Shannon loves a wee bit of fishing, but I think from what we had to look at coming into it was how do a lot of the things that we get on a regular basis, question wise, is like you could repeat the same answer 10 different times each day. And we were like, how do we, instead of like having to say individually to everybody all of the time, if they're coming in a group coaching capacity, how do we answer the same question that most people have? So what we actually did, and what made it, I think, really successful, is we have built a kind of a course that essentially when somebody comes in the door, it pretty much allows them to do all of the things that, like when it comes to, we'd established to get results from a body composition and fat loss point of view, it comes down to your habits, your nutrition, your training. So we created essentially an app that has habits, nutrition, training on it, and we have in-depth videos of each of those things that you can pretty much work your way through. You tick them off as you go, but as you're going through it, pretty much it calculates your calories, you get a meal structure from it, you understand how steps work and what it actually does, how to get steps, training, how to be progressive with that. Pretty much all of that background information that you would ask us for, we would refer you to that so that ultimately you can work your way through it. And by the end of it, you didn't just get in shape, you know how you've got in shape. And I think that's one of the big things as well, because whilst we can see that there was clearly some great progress from the guys. I mean, I think the average rate of loss was between 4 and 6 kilos over an 8 week period. That's very, very good going. What we did see is the fact that the guys' knowledge had improved massively, because we asked them how they felt before it and how they felt after it in terms of education. And like, there's a lot of them who very much were giving feedback in terms of like so much more confident in being able to do like the thing. I don't have anxiety or stress about this anymore. I don't have
Have more
questions.
knowledge than a PT.
Yeah,
all of that.
yeah, and considering that's an 8 week course, and to be fair, most PT courses last 12 weeks, I think we could probably give them a run for their money. Hashtag Biofitness personal training course coming to you soon. Not.
We can charge 4 grand like every other one.
Yeah, 4 grand to do nothing for you. But anyway, that's a side point completely. But all positive, genuinely, I think, for the most part, and obviously now something that we're going to continue. We did, and like again, don't just want to show you all of the positive things around it. Like the kind of things that possibly did take us a wee bit of time were the fact that, like, for the first couple of weeks we had to iron out, and this is the reason we said we had as a pilot plan, is we had to iron out what was working and what was not. I think for the first couple of weeks, probably some of the feedback was that the feedback we were given probably wasn't as direct enough, because I think we were skirting around like individuals' issues. So rather than actually speaking directly as to this is Shauna's issue and this is how you solve it, we were saying someone said this and this is how we would solve it. So it wasn't direct to them. So I think we took that on board and actually took that. We took that on board and tried to improve upon that. Second thing, and I think this is probably a bigger thing that we have looked at but had to explain, is I think like anything, when you start to get really good results and you see things, you do often want more a lot of the time, and for a lot of people want more. A lot of when we asked what they want to see more of was directness in terms of our feedback and personal calls and check-ins and stuff. We do offer that service, and the reason Biofitness has got such great results for the years is because we specialise in one-to-one personal coaching. Like group coaching is a secondary product to that. It doesn't necessarily mean secondary results, but what it means is it's not as individualised, and it can't be. And the reason that is, and the price point is lower, is because the one-to-one coaching is, like, again, the premium product that we have. So I think we just had to differentiate what the differences are between that. Probably, and I'd be keen for your guys' input on this. I think personally, from my thoughts on how it went, I think if you're coming in the door and you've really been struggling to lose body fat and find purpose in the gym and what you're doing, understanding your habits, then this is possibly one of the best things that you can do. I think, like anything, it can get you from point A to B, and I think that it's probably the best service, and genuinely very proud of what we've created for that, and I can see it massively helping and impacting a lot of people at a fraction of the cost of what PT is. Who I would say it's not for, though, is if you're someone who's got from point A to point B and you're looking to go to point C and you need more individualised stuff, and that's where I would say it, more individualised stuff, that's where that works, and I think that's where we differentiate. I think it's very important and clear to differentiate that, because if we are, like, you see a lot of stuff on, like, even today, posted Niles ran a marathon, like, it's probably not going to have the specialised approach to be able to get you from dropping 20 kilos and being able to run a marathon, but what it can do is start to help you lose that first 3 to 10 kilos, and it can do that pretty well and understand that, so you never need to do a different diet or training program or go to classes you never want to go to again. I think that's where it really, really shines.
Yeah, 100%. And even if you're happy staying at point B for a while and you're just coasting along, you just want to learn a bit more, you want to continue chipping away doing what you're doing, it doesn't have to be individualized, then this is definitely a place for you as well, I would say. But yeah, for people that are maybe unsure where to start, maybe can't afford the higher price point for individualized one-to-one coaching, then this is a perfect place. 100% the perfect place. You're going to learn what you need to learn. You're going to have that sense of community. We're all in it for the same reason. Like, I think what separates us from other groups and other coaches, and this might sound wishy-washy, but we don't have the 5 pillars of getting in shape. We don't, we've said, Kyle's already mentioned it, we focus on nutrition, training, and habits, because we know that's the 3 things that's going to get you results. So that is what we've really, really dialed in on. We don't have a specialised 5-pillar program. Everybody's 5-pillar programs are fucking same. It's just dressed up differently. We are just 3 sound people wanting to help other people feel a bit better, be a bit happier in their own skin, and just be a bit fitter and healthier. And that is it. And I think that's what separates us. Like, regimental, we're not robotic. We have lived these experiences ourselves, so we can relate to people on so many different levels. And because there's myself, Kyle, and Shannon, we've all lived different lives up to this point as well. We've all been through different things. So even if I can't relate to you on something, you sure as shit can guarantee that Shannon or Kyle or both can relate to you on that specific topic as well. And I really do believe that that's what sets us apart from other coaching programs.
100%. I think that even the fact that, like, if we were in it for the money, we would charge a fucking arm and a leg for the amount of work that went into that. But yeah, we just want to help people. So yes.
That's coming.
um, that's if people, we need to start copywriting what we've just done, because someone is going to steal our idea and then absolutely charge people beyond belief for what we've created, because it was that good. I'm not being cocky in that sense, but we brought it to a price point because the goal's always been to help as many people as possible. And like, the results that came in, incredible. Even for the likes of Shannon Shearman. Shannon Shearman was 1-to-1 with me for just over a year and a half, I believe, dropped 15 kg. Now, Shannon Shearman's the example of someone that wants to be just at B. She doesn't want to do marathons. She doesn't want to do photo shoots. She's just quite happy having her consistency. And where the group coaching came into play there was she needed some accountability. And
Yeah.
that's what it did for her. And she's loving it. Like, she's never been as consistent. We used to always joke with wee Shannon, like Shannon used to take a month off. She used to be a devil for, I have a lot going on and I'm going to take a month off. And me and Guy would be slagging her off, being like, aye. But Shannon actually, in the last 8 weeks, had a serious bereavement in the family that, like, normal Shannon, maybe last year, would have took the month off. Like, she still kept showing up in the group coaching because the accountability was just so good for her, and the community that was in it, like everyone supporting her and stuff like that, she really, really appreciated it.
Shout out Shannon.
Even though she's really shy and she doesn't talk on it, but like the fact that people would be like asking how she was and that, she really did appreciate it.
Yeah,
Shout out to Shannon. She didn't take a month off.
for sure. I thought you were going to start listing her fucking address and all that when you kept saying her first and second name.
Oh man, I was like, you just double named her like so many times. I'm like, what is going on here? Like, all you were short of doing is putting her national insurance number down there. Like, what's the?
See, I'm so used to, because me and Shannon are friends as well outside of all of this coaching stuff, and there's two of us in the group. So we're always referred to as Shannon Shearman and Shannon Higgins, because you need to define which Shannon you're talking about.
Yeah.
It used to be Shannon 1 and then Shannon 2, but that didn't go down well either because we were still getting confused.
I feel like we're going to have to up the prices now that Shannon Shearman's going to put like a data breach on, or like lack of data protection there with everything Shannon Higgins, as you said about her. But yeah, what's your shoe size? Where do you like to go on holiday? Like all that crap. Where were you the 15th?
Well, she doesn't listen to the podcast. I'm all right.
No, you're okay.
She might after this next intake.
What was I going to say? It's funny you said that, because when you said about all the work that we had put into it, I'm not going to lie, I stole the idea from a different business model. I was part of a business mentorship that was charging me just over $2,000 a month, and pretty much what they had in place was literally what we have done with the app, and it's like a course that you work your way through. And they had one call a week, and I'm like, they're charging $2,000 a month for this. I know it's business focused, but I'm like, why is nobody doing this in health and fitness? So I was like, why don't we create our version of this? It's not business related, but we put it into health and fitness. And that's essentially what we did. And I'm like, if they're charging $2,000 a month for it, we can charge 99 quid a month for it. And I was like, being honest, if you hold a gun to my head, I at some point reckon that it's probably worth 600-700 quid a month, and the value you would get from it is going to be massive. But right now, what we need to do is prove that it works, so that it has a reputation that it works. And ultimately, and this is where it would be irresponsible of me not to say this, we are clearly going to be taking on more people. And if you're somebody who's listening to this And that sounds like it floats your boat. And I'm also going to throw one better in there. There is a 30-day love it or leave it guarantee. So if you decide after the first 30 days or within the first 30 days it's not for you and it's not what you wanted and you didn't like it, it's results your money back guaranteed. So really, realistically, 99 quid a month, you want to get involved, let us know. It's going to be an ongoing thing. Gary, no, we'll take your money after it. You don't need to sign up right now. Sorry, go on, go on.
I was just going to say the 99 quid a month is for the next 4 weeks after the release date of this episode.
Yeah. Sorry.
So
Good
this
man.
episode releases on the Sunday, the 10th of May. You have until Sunday, the 7th of June to lock in your £99 per month for the programme. And if just let us know that you're listening to the podcast and we can lock you in at that price. And that will be your price point for eternity.
And if you don't like it, within 30 days, you get your money back. So,
And
win-win.
just for complete clarity, because Gary clamped me on it, it's €99, not £99, so it's actually slightly cheaper still than even what Gary said there.
What? Even better, man.
Yeah, it's got to say.
That conversion rate crack.
I said, well, we're not giving money to the king. That's,
No.
but yeah, if it's something that you're interested in, then what I would do is either message one of us on Instagram, just put the words 365, we'll do the rest, or I was going to say we'll try at this point to put a link to an application form in the
Spotify.
In the what?
In the description for Spotify.
Well, Spotify or YouTube or wherever you listen, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Cool, sweet. Right, anyway, with that out of the way, I think it was important we just had a wee chat about that because it was something we started 9 weeks ago and you just were clearly on the edge of your seats to know how it went.
Yeah. 9 weeks ago, I said we had a baby and that didn't go down well. I referred to it as a baby that time.
Shannon, I'll be honest, see when you say things, sometimes my head just goes, what is happening here? Yeah.
Thoughts are there, they just get jumbled and I get my words confused.
It's just the fact that you say things completely out of context sometimes and just leave it there. And if we had more time in the podcast, I would go into the Zumba versus Zoma versus Zuma debate that we had last week, but we don't have time. So we're going to go straight into the topic, and it's an absolute, in my opinion, bunch of fucking woke nonsense topic that we're talking about, but I think it's important to go into. Shannon, do you want to announce what the topic we're talking about today is?
I need to pull it up to get it correct because just in case I say it wrong or I pronounce something or I decide it's a new topic off the randomness.
Probably.
Let me see. Where is my topic that I chose today? I should have been more prepared. God, you just threw me. I'm panicking. Gonna lose my job.
I feel like you had one job today.
I know.
I have many jobs.
Well, you're doing them all as well as you're doing this one, then we're in trouble.
I can't find the chat.
I've got the topic. Do you want me to fucking...
Yeah, go on, Gary.
I'm here then. Has recovery become more important than training intensity?
See if you're watching this on YouTube, just have a look at how red Shannon's face is right now.
I'm panicking. I'm going to lose my job.
You've got too many jobs to do right now. I can't afford to sack you, so there we go. Right, say the topic again. Sorry, Shannon.
Is recovery becoming more important than training intensity?
Initial thoughts, Gary. Give me them.
I mean, I'm intrigued as to why you feel like it's woke nonsense. I would say recovery's always been important. Training intensity has always been important. I think people might now be using it more as an excuse to do less of what they have to do to see the results that they're wanting to see. But I do believe that it has become a little bit more prevalent in the fitness industry because everyone is just so wired at the minute. Everyone is on the go 24/7. And I think it's really come to light how important recovery is. I mean, when I think back to the early 2000s, everybody was just all about fucking sweat, like trying to build up as much sweat as you possibly could when you were in the gym, and it was all about high intensity workouts and you were just trying to absolutely hammer yourself into the floor. You couldn't leave the gym unless you were in fucking agony leaving the gym. Whereas I think now people are actually starting to understand. And I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older or we're all getting older and we're
Speak for
starting,
yourself.
like our algorithm is starting to recognize that people are talking a lot more about kind of recovery and resting and whatnot. But has it become more important, or is it becoming more important? No, I don't think it ever has been. I think it has its place for level of importance. But I do think people could be potentially using it as an excuse to get out of doing the hard stuff.
Shannon?
Oh, it's my turn. No, I don't think it is becoming more important than training intensity. However, I do agree with Gary in the sense that I think people are recognizing that it's almost hand in hand with it. Whereas before it used to be no pain, no gain, sweat, absolutely just everything, giving it all 7 days a week, no breaks, nothing like this. Where now I think people are coming to terms with the idea that, like, actually, no, a bit of recovery is important alongside it for the muscle growth. Where I have a problem with recovery is there is absolute gobshites about the place that are using recovery as like this whole fucking identity now of cold plunges and compression socks and like you need this massage gun and you need these electrolytes and you need this gummy for this, that, and the other. And I'm like, shut the fuck up and just, get your 8 hours sleep, please. You'd have no
Yeah,
children. You're a 25-year-old boy. Grow up.
yeah, and that is important. I think it's important to highlight how important recovery is, especially with age, um, more life stress, how long you've been in a calorie deficit for. Your training, if you're training for an endurance event, recovery is a massive part of that. Um, a good way to look at it is somebody that's a teenager, 19, even early 20s. They, like when I was that age, I could go out on the piss, get 3 hours sleep, and then get up and do it again the next day. Like I could go to the gym. Like your body's so resilient, and you can bounce back a lot quicker. Now that I'm mid-30s, I am a parent. I'm running a business. I'm also working a couple of jobs on the side as well. Um, my recovery looks a lot different now to what it did 15 years ago. Even though motivation could be higher potentially, I still need to focus a bit more on recovery. But I am not using that as an excuse to not do the hard stuff and not do the shit that I sometimes don't want to do because I know the importance of training intensity, and yeah, actually putting in the hard graft, doing the hard stuff, if that makes sense.
I think it is a lot of nonsense in the way that it's been said, simply because people, if you're listening to this, there is a 99.9% chance that you don't train hard enough that you need to recover more. Like, I know that that's a hard one to hear, but you don't. Um, I think when we look at a few different things, like the internet is so saturated with people now selling you recovery things because there's money to be made in it. There's money to be made in Whoop bands and smartwatches and recovery products. That people understand that, and we also understand that we live stressful lives. You put a Whoop band or a smartwatch on, like there's a good chance. Like for the last 3 weeks, I think my recovery's been at like fucking no higher than 55%. But in that period of time, like I've still been doing the things. I've ran a fucking marathon at a PB. Like I literally got 4.5 hours sleep the night before it, less than that, 4 hours 21 minutes of sleep. My Whoop band literally had me at a 22% and red recovery the next day. I'm not going to go, nah, I'm not going to run this marathon today because you know what, I'm under recovered. Fucking nonsense, mate. Like, I went out and fucking done it. I'm not saying that, like, you have to do that, but as somebody who's coached people for fucking years and years and years, I often find that people get so apprehensive about this, going, "Oh, I wasn't feeling 100%. I just missed the gym." That's fine on occasion for a lot of people, but you also get people who do that every single week. And I'm like, when you have an option to say no, and you're presented with that option, a lot of people do say no, and I don't think that's helpful. I literally watched a video of a girl who was like on the morning of the half marathon. This might be very controversial, I don't know, but I'm fucking saying it. Like, she was like talking for about a minute and a half about how she's not running the half marathon this morning because her nervous system is not in a place she can cope with the stress of a half marathon, and she's in a journey of recovery and this is the best thing for her. in my head, I'm going, there's
Shut
country,
it.
yeah, well, fucking nonsense for a start. But the other part of me is like,
Why'd you sign up?
but there's people applauding it and going, "Oh yeah, you've done the right thing" and stuff. I'm like, you're sitting there like with your like. Firstly, you've not gave it a go. How do you know? There's many times that I've turned up to something feeling terrible, but actually when I've got into it, I'm like, happy days. But then I'm also going, you've taken a place from somebody who, like, that half marathon was sold out. I'm like, there's somebody sitting there who probably wanted to do the half marathon, who's then having to watch your video or you talking on the day going, I can't do it. Can you imagine at a professional level when the stakes are high? Like, imagine you're getting paid to play in the Champions League final, and all of a sudden Cristiano Ronaldo's turning around and going, lads, nervous system's just not in a good place right now. He's getting fucking dropped, mate. Like, don't care who you are. You're not playing. Like, the last, and I know I'm going on a rant here, the last one is I listened to a video where a guy's talking about, he's like, well, after a marathon, you need to give yourself 3 weeks to recover before you start doing any sort of sessions again. At the same time, the next video I go down is the two brothers who are doing a marathon every single day for 33 days. I'm going, what, so you're telling me that I need to take 3 weeks before I do a fucking 5k again? Yet those boys, day in, day out, are doing a 33, sorry, they're doing 42.2 kilometres. Fucking nonsense.
Was the brothers that said you need to recover?
No.
Okay, because I was just like, oh, that's not good.
Well,
Especially when they're doing this all for charity. Did you see they hit 1 million? They've raised the funds.
great, we're going way off topic though.
Yeah, sorry. That's how my brain works.
Yeah, it's nice to see something that we've found that Kyle is very passionate about.
Common ground as well, I believe. This is the first time we're kind of all in agreement with it, that it is a little bit like nonsense.
Is recovery important? Yes, of course it is.
Yes,
Do you
but
train
that,
hard enough for it to be taken over from training intensity? No.
no, we're not
Um,
professional athletes, any of
yeah,
us.
yeah. When you're looking at professional athletes, then they need to factor in recovery. Look at the likes of strongmen, powerlifters, even track and field sprinters and stuff like that. They have to they have to take into consideration their recovery because it's how they improve, it's how they avoid injury, and then it's how they perform better in their chosen sport. For general population, for people that just go to the gym to feel a bit better, get a bit stronger, build a bit of muscle,
You don't need
we don't
compression
need
socks.
fucking ice baths. We don't need stupid shit for recovery. We just need to get adequate sleep, and fucking go again the next day. Make sure you're eating enough food. Make sure your protein is where it should be because most of us are under eating protein. Most of us are under eating calories when we start our own fitness or gym journey. What we do is we ramp up the exercise, we drastically cut calories, we wonder why we're tired, we wonder why we're fucked all the time. If you can get all of them in place, that will take care or mostly take care of the recovery aspect of your training. Eat enough protein, make sure you're eating enough calories to fuel your performance, maybe not too much calories that's going to actually send the scales in the wrong direction. Start with a low intensity, steady state cardio instead of thinking you need to go in and do an hour of fucking hill sprints. And just try and improve your sleep. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say to you, you need to get 7 to 9 hours sleep per night because I know for some people, myself, Kyle, with a baby and a toddler, that's not realistic right now. If you're somebody that's only sleeping 3 to 4 hours a night because your fucking head's in your phone, put your phone down and try and get 4.5 to 5 hours a night. That extra hour and a half is going to have a huge difference, positive effect on your body, or it should, in theory. And then it's like reps. Anything, the more you do something, the easier and easier it's going to become. The more and more you can practice your sleep hygiene and your bedtime routine, the more and more you can focus on adding 500 to 1,000 steps per day over the course of a week, then the easier it's going to become. That is going to be a lot more beneficial for you instead of sitting in your ass and using recovery as an excuse to not put in the work to see the results that you want to see.
It also comes across just so much more glamorous than saying go to sleep. How about go get an ice bath and, get a sports massage once a week and do this, that, and the other. I'm like, why? Like, it
Yeah.
just, I have someone in my mind that like trains. Now, to be fair, there's probably a lot going on in the background for him. He trains maybe twice a day, 7 days a week, has a full-time job, is a parent, and is all this attitude of no pain, no gain kind of method. And all you ever see him posting about is how he's in the ice baths, he's in the sauna, he is got this fancy massage gun, he's got his Whoop band, he's got all of this, and I'm just like, I feel like it's you're trying to impress people with this at this point.
He's fighting
Like
some demons.
he is fighting demons that like very much so to the point that like if you are coming to your local gym twice a day while working a full-time job, being a full-time parent and calling 20K at 4 minutes of pace, easy running, like you're fighting some demons in the background. I think you need therapy more than anything.
I mean, I don't disagree on that point. I think that, yeah, there's probably a wee bit going on there. For me, certainly the cost of probably doing training twice a day, and that's not to say that I haven't occasionally done a training session in the morning and a run in the afternoon or evening simply because I've had to at points, but not an everyday thing. Go on, Shannon.
No, I mean actually physically going to the gym twice a day and running in between that as well. Like, how's your boss let you work?
No, I know it's grand.
If
Like, sure, I seen that's probably the person you're talking about, and I
yeah,
don't want to get because
you,
it's as an example. It's just you've brought them up and they're now in my mind. I did see at one point they'd had like a 17 and a half hour training week. And I'm like, 17 and a half hours is a fucking part time job. Like, that's equates to over 2.5 hours of training per day, every day. And I'm like, for me, the cost of that is the fact that, like, Jen wouldn't probably let me back in the house if I was doing that every single day over a 7 day period. But, and also at the same time, like, when a completely sub topic we'll talk about a different time, but like, for me, health and fitness shouldn't actually take away from my life. It should be adding to my life. And realistically, there is a point of diminishing gains there. But to get things back on topic, I would probably say the issue I have isn't actually to do with training intensity. It's more so like training intensity is something that needs to be managed. And to be honest, some people do occasionally try and push it too hard all of the time, but that's not the point. Like, it's still very infrequent when they do it. The problem that I have is it's not a case of managing training intensity for a lot of people. It's the reason that training feels hard is because they're sleep deprived, because they're feeling like an arsehole. Like, you have people who train like athletes but then recover like Barney Grumble, and it's like you don't the point that you're missing is actually the fact that it's like you could just go to sleep a little bit earlier and that would help. Like, a training session will feel far better on 7 and 8 hours sleep than it will on 5 hours sleep, but that's not a training issue. That's the fact that you stayed up scrolling your phone. Like, you're underslept, underfed, or sorry, you're underslept, and the quality of food that you're having is terrible. Like, being honest, Niall and I were having a conversation at the marathon going, we'd had 4,000 calories worth of carbs and we're still feeling hungry because some of the quality of food we were having wasn't the most satiating, because you have to at that volume of food. But we're like, it'd be quite easy, and you feel rubbish, but you're kind of going, you could quite easily keep on that. Like, we were getting to the point at the end of the evening, we're 3,800 calories and going, I can still eat a full meal, and if I don't, I'm going to be hungry. Like, there's the levels at which people fuel themselves is probably also a factor, rather than actually saying like, it's training. My biggest issue is very rarely training is literally pissing the pool for the majority of people in terms of that. And I think the recovery thing, there's the biggest thing is that there's money to be made in recovery right now, and that's why it's getting talked about so much. If there wasn't money to be made, I think you'd find that that would disappear very quickly.
oh, Gary, no sound.
Oh,
You're
sorry.
gone.
Yeah, my microphone just decided to mute itself. I think the dopamine you get from the likes of an ice bath or a cold plunge or a cold shower is more attractive than, and it lasts, what, 30 seconds to take an ice bath. When you put that up against training for an hour, although you're going to see more benefits from the training for an hour, arguably, when when you're faced with both prospects, ice bath for 30 seconds, get a good dopamine hit, train for an hour, get an incredible dopamine hit, improve your body. People are going to take the easier option because realistically, people are lazy and people are
Yeah.
liars, and we want the quickest route to get to feeling good. And yeah, I mean, does recovery matter more than training intensity? I know we said it was maybe on a level playing field, but see if you're not training with intensity, if you're not progressively overloading your lifts, if you're not doing full range of motion in your lifts, if you're not training close enough to failure, if you're not getting enough volume in, recovery doesn't matter a fuck because there's absolutely nothing to recover from. Um,
It's
if
all
you're
in your head.
training, what's that?
It'll be all in your head that you're recovering from.
100%. And see, that soreness you're feeling, that's just because you're doing something different to what your body's not been used to. I guarantee you, if you go in and you continue to do the same workout with the same exercises for the same sets and the same reps every single day for the next 4 to 6 to 8 weeks, by the end of that time period, you're not going to feel sore at all because there's fuck all response that your body needs from the same shit. So yeah, there's nothing to recover from if you're not training with intensity,
Stretching,
whatsoever that.
stretching's a good example of that. Like you see people that stretch for years and years and years because they're sore. So they stretch and then they're sore because they stretch, because all stretching does is gives you a temporary feeling and a very sensory feeling of a muscle getting longer because it then relaxes itself, so it becomes loose and long. Muscle should be short and strong, not loose and long. But the point is, like I've done my wee dissertation on this back in the day, but when you do it, like the effects tend to last like 40 minutes, so you do feel great for 40 minutes, but it's done fucking nothing for you. And in terms of like actually strengthening, if anything, it's done the opposite. So it's made it weaker, which is why you always feel the need to stretch. But because there's no stress involved, there's no adaptation. Like literally, there's not a you don't get stronger, there's not stable, and it's not more mobile. Like there is issues within that. If we look at, like, if you imagine red, amber, and green as a traffic light system, green's great for your nervous system because it's a place of recovery. You can adapt to things at that point. But see, for things to actually happen, see for your body to actually get a stimulus to change, it needs to be in the yellow and in the red. Now, yellow is an ideal position to be in if you're looking for change because nothing really happens in the green. So yellow is that level of stress, it's good stress. Red, too much stress. I feel like talking yellow, like not enough. Red, too much. Or sorry, yellow good, red bad. But if you're somebody who's consistently, so you can get into the red by doing a few things. You can either push too hard too quickly, and that can put you in the red. It's actually, in my opinion, okay to touch the red. You just don't want to stay there. That's my thing when it comes to recovery. Like for me, if I see a red on my Whoop band or I see whatever, it's not going to stop me training. It's going to go right. I probably don't want to be in here for too long. So what I want to do is maybe will I pull back? Will I make sure that I'm getting extra sleep? Will I make sure that my nutrition's on point? I'll do all of those things. But the thing is, I'm okay to touch red and I'm okay to be in the red for a short period of time. The problem is when you're consistently in the red, that's where we probably need to look at a little bit more of really putting how much sleep are you actually getting, how much water are you having. The last thing I'd probably, not the last thing, but I'd be very rarely looking at your training intensity for most of general population because there's generally not enough people that train hard enough. Yellow is a good position where it's like, yeah, you're maybe pushing things, but you're kind of can dip into the green, dip into the red. Like ideally, yellow more often than not is a good place to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. I've not really got anything else to add to that. I think you summed it up pretty well. I think to summarise, I think it's being bastardised, the whole recovery side of things. It is being used as a tool to make other people a lot of money in a short space of time, for you to see the results that you want to see. Now, this doesn't mean to say that you can't take your ice baths or you can't take your cold
Sure,
showers or
I'm
you
going for
can't
one
go.
on Saturday.
Fucking go for it
Yeah,
if that makes you
it's
feel good.
nice feeling.
Yeah, go for it if it gives you that wee dopamine hit that you're looking for, if it gives you a wee rush of endorphins, if it makes you feel good, if it makes you feel like shit. I hate being cold. I hate cold water. I don't like ice plunges, therefore I don't do them. Is that affecting my recovery?
No.
No,
It's a big
it's no.
social thing now as well, though, the sauna and the ice baths. I don't know if it's the same over there, Gary, but like every bloody town now has one here.
Yeah, we've got tons over here as well. Don't get me wrong, some of them look amazing. You know, you can get some looking on the banks at Loch Lomond
Mm,
that overlook the water. It looks absolutely stunning, and I would give it a shot. But am I going to do it for recovery, or am I going to do it
no.
just to have a lovely little getaway? I'm going for the
Experience.
getaway. Yeah, yeah. I'm not going for the
Yeah.
recovery aspect. I'm going to focus on getting adequate protein, getting adequate carbs and fats in as well, depending on what what the goal is at the time. I'm going to focus on getting as much good quality sleep as I can. Hard, as I said, when you've got a baby whose sleeping pattern is disrupted. I'm going to make sure that I am training the way I want to train in terms of, again, in terms of what I'm aiming for in that specific time. And I'm going to try and get as much movement as I can through steps. I'm not constantly chasing fatigue and soreness when I'm training in the gym. I am being very strategic about my training so I don't burn myself out. So there's many other things that I am putting into effect or what's the word I'm looking for here? Um,
Implementing.
Implementing. Thank you, Shannon. There's many other things that I'm implementing. I don't need ice baths. I don't need massage guns. I don't need fucking 10 hours of sleep. I mean, I think I do need 10 hours of sleep per night, but I'm not fucking getting that, am I? But
That's just too
yeah,
greedy now.
yeah. Never swap out your training to be to use recovery as an excuse for being lazy.
I think if you treat yourself as fragile, you'll always be fragile. If Gary, if you only ever trained when you were well rested after being a dad, I don't think we'd have seen you in the gym. Shannon, if you only ever trained when you were pain free since having your cysts, we probably wouldn't have ever seen you do anything. And there is a school of people out there who believe that, you know what, being a parent is too tough for you to be able to do anything. And Shannon, if you had your cysts, you shouldn't have trained. But realistically, where would that have left both of you? Because we'd be going on well over a year where users have been sitting there and like there would have been nothing for your own headspace to be able to do. I had a conversation with somebody this other day where they were touching on the menopause side of things and bones being sorer, but also touching on the fact that they loved running and they've been advised by a physio that they shouldn't ever run. And I was like, okay, I get the point, but at the same time, if you're told not to run at all, and running is the thing that you've just said is keeping you sane right now, the fact is you're going to be in pain anyway. They've said it's not going to make it, it's just pain. It's not anything outside of pain. If the pain's too much for you to run, 100% don't run. But at the same time, if it's tolerable, you need to assess what's the harder pain. Is it the pain of the 5 or 6 out of 10 whilst you're running? Or is it the fact that like you actually don't feel like you've got anything in your week right now that you can do for yourself? And I think you need to assess sometimes what pain is more tolerable for you, and that's not to go and say do fucking 10 out of 10. When you're a 10 out of 10 pain, 100% you absolutely take a wee bit of a whatever back, but a lot of people have a 4 out of 10 pain and think that they can't do anything that week.
Yeah,
You know
100%.
your body better than anyone else.
Wow.
You do know. Like,
Yeah, you
my
do. 100.
doctors were constantly telling me not to be doing anything with the cysts and the endo at the time. And I was just like, but I feel grand today. Like, I went for a run last week and yous all fucking battered me over it, being like, what the fuck, it was 4 weeks, and I was like, but I felt good. And you know what? I found out that I wasn't ready yet. You know your
Yeah,
body better.
I fully agree. But when people use I know my
The
body
physio
better
said
than
I
you
can't do
do.
this.
Yeah, as an excuse to, let's say you've got a little niggle in your shoulder, but you
I
don't
can't do
come to the
legs.
gym at all. Like fucking hell, there's so many other things you can do. I've had tendonitis in my thumb for going on maybe six to 8 weeks now. By the way, this is not a training injury. I wish it was a training injury. It's from the repetitive motion of picking up a baby.
I was going to say painting.
Oh no, that was the repetitive straining injury from painting my fucking ceiling when we moved into the house. But so I've had this injury for about 6 to 8 weeks. It hurts doing the most basic shit like opening a bottle or if I have my hands in my pockets and I take my hand out my pocket, my thumb gets caught. Fuck me, it hurts. I'm still training because I'm working round the injury. It's doable. It's manageable. I have Freddie's coming up for one now. I am arguably the strongest I've ever been in my life, and that is with navigating running a business and fatherhood for the first time. You can fucking do it. Stop making excuses. Stop looking for easy ways out. It's going to be hard, especially if you're a parent. It's going to be hard and you're going to be fucking tired. You do need to suck up at times. Now, I'm not saying you need to completely overhaul for everything. Of course, you have to have a decent understanding of where you're at, but using recovery and a poor night's sleep and just looking for any excuse under the sun to give yourself that out that you're wanting, you're not going to get to where you want to be. You're not going to see the results that you want to see. And that's not on anyone apart from you. And that's something that you're going to need to accept. If you're feeling sorry for yourself, if you're hating the way you feel, hating the way you look, you need to do something about it.
There will be a point, and you won't be able to see it yet, but there will be a point in the not so distant future where you're not able to do the things that you want to do. And I would hate for the version of me who, when I can't do the things that I want to do, would look back at it and go, my nervous system wasn't quite ready to do that run that I'd signed up for. I'd be like, man, I'm fucking 80 years old, my knees don't move. I'd love to go a run where I'm feeling a wee bit sleep deprived and I'm a wee bit stressed. I'd fucking love that. I'm not saying, just so I'm not clipped out here, I'm not saying the girl, because it was ironically for a 90-second video where she waffled on about her nervous system, there was no context as to why her nervous system was frazzled, and maybe that's a missing piece. But I was like, for me, I'm kind of like, do you know what? It's a privilege to be able to do some tough things, and the more tough things that you can do, the more that it's the James Clear thing, isn't it? You are what you do repeatedly. If you do tough things repeatedly, you again builds confidence that you can continue to do that. And I feel if you avoid them repeatedly, it's just going to build that thing up. We've all had clients who've very much been every single week. They're like, oh, it's another week where, do you know what, just didn't get to the gym, just, do you know what, didn't feel like it, I didn't whatever. I'm like, well, if you keep on doing that every single week, you're always just going to continue to do that thing. It is going to take an element of you breaking that cycle for it to start to feel good. And if anything, it is just a case of you going in and doing it. And a lot of the time you need to take the thinking out of it. I don't know. For me, if we go actually to the topic on hand, is recovery becoming more important than training intensity? To answer it, I think there probably is an element of it's certainly been promoted more than it ever has. Is it important? Yes, 100%. I don't ever want that to come out of context. I do think if there's a lot going on and whatever, like training intensity is something you need to manage. But I think, like anything, when that's widespread to the entire population, lots of people will take that in a way I don't think it's meant to be perceived. And I think for most people, you're capable of harder things than what you think you are, regardless of what your Whoop Band, Apple Watch, Garmin says.
Yeah, fully agree.
Yeah.
You just
100%.
need to back yourself a wee bit more than you currently do, and actually give yourself a chance to prove to yourself that you can do hard things when times get tough.
That's
Just
where growth happens, is in the hard stuff.
just as a very last point on it, like for all of the examples, how many times have you heard footballers talk about, oh yeah, they were told that they shouldn't have played because of this, and this. The medical staff have said that they weren't going to pass a medical. Like, there's footballers who've literally notoriously been turned down by clubs because they wouldn't pass a medical and have turned out to be some of the best footballers in the world. Eddie Hall originally broke the 500 kilo record. You can go and watch the documentary, but he was like, he'd done a flight where he was jet lagged and done it on a shit bar. I'm like, he wasn't fully recovered by any means, but if he got in his head going, I can't do it that day, he's not doing it. But he broke a literal world record. He'd done something that nobody had ever done, and he'd done it fucking sleep deprived and jet lagged. I'm like, you can do more difficult things than what you think you can, and I think that's the point.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
Mind over matter.
There's people out there telling you that you need fucking 3 weeks rest after a marathon, yet there's other people out there doing one every single day for a period of a month.
I
So
mean, look at Russ Cook, the guy that ran from the bottom of South Africa to the very tip of the continent Africa. He was bashing out fucking 50, 60, 70 kilometers every day.
yeah.
Madness.
Ross Edgley swam the perimeter of the UK over a 3.5 month period whilst his tongue dissolved. I'm not saying you need to go to that level of stress, but I don't imagine his Apple Watch
I
or
don't think he
band
had
was
an ice
telling him.
bath.
What?
Don't think he had an ice bath in between all that.
Wow.
He was literally swimming in ice cold water, so I think he was recovering as he was swimming.
Yeah, he had a jellyfish attached to his head for an entire 8 hour period at one
Yeah.
point. So
By the way, if anybody's not watched that documentary, it is on YouTube and it's in the Red Bull channel. I believe Red Bull, Ross Edgley, and it's a very, very interesting watch if you go for it. His his neck. He had a big gaping wound in his neck from his swimsuit, just like rubbing against it with the salt. So yeah, very interesting watch, and it just goes to show you how much the human body can tolerate. So if you're just feeling a wee bit tired because you've had an hour less sleep and you don't want to go to the gym because you're yawning your head off, fucking suck it up.
I know. Yeah,
Stop looking at your Fitbit and just get up a wee bit. Like, get on with it. I stopped looking at my scores.
your fucking ancestors survived fucking medieval times, torture and world wars, and yet you can't go to the fucking gym on a Tuesday evening.
Because your Whoop or Fitbit or whatever it is says you got below 70% rest.
Grow up.
Oh, fucking mic drop. Quick pet peeve before we head. Excuse me, before we head off. Fucking dicks that count out loud in the gym.
1, 2.
Oh no. And you know, he's probably not going to listen to this, to be honest, but I used to work with a PT in Pure Gym in Paisley, and he would
Give full name like I did with Shannon.
no bodybuilder type coach would train every client he had on a bodybuilding split, and it would all be sets of 12 to 15, and he would count every single one of those reps out loud for them. But after every number, he would go 1, go on, 2, that's it, 3, keep going, 4, that's it, 5, keep going for the full session.
Well, fair
And
play to him for being able to count to 15 because there's a few that can't.
fuck me.
Do you know what? I'm going to go deeper into that pet peeve. Do you know what gets to me is see any of that pish, like see any of that massive motivational, like, oh, you've got this, one more, crank it out. See all that?
You're an animal.
I'm like, it actually gives me the ick. Like, I've had people, like, randomly come over to you in the gym when you're going into a tough set and they're like, come on, one more. I'm like, you are actually putting me off. I'm not even thinking about my lift anymore. I'm just thinking about you. And I know you're trying to do something helpful, but I'm like, I don't need, I know this is maybe a me thing, but I'm like, I don't need extrinsic motivation from you to try and get this bar up. What I'm thinking about in my head is if I don't, then I'm going to fucking crush myself. So I don't need you to tell me, come on, as if I've got a choice. I'm lifting it. I just don't want to be focusing on your stupid voice in my ear. Anyway, thank you for Dave and Toby for the music, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.